the Muslim hostages were getting degraded. And I have never seen, I mean, they get quite heated sometimes, these debates, right? But I have never seen someone getting kicked out. And the thing is, it hasn't been published on YouTube yet. I'm really looking forward to seeing whether the debate will be published. But I think it goes to show how,
How long was the debate?
I mean, usually it lasts like, I don't know, I can imagine with this one, probably like an hour, 2 hours, I don't know.
Oh,
Usually they're not like, yeah. I mean, Ben Shapiro did like a really good one initially after October 7th, where he was really good, really good. But I think there was something to it, like, he stated it, and I think the pro-Israeli side stated it last night as well. Oxford has become Hamas territory. Like 90% of like the students, they support Hamas. It's just so. It's really like staining the image of Oxford, right? Like Oxford, Cambridge, like these universities, really prestigious, right? Like if you graduate from a university like that too.
Yeah, but who's going on to Harvard, Columbia, UCLA, same.
Yeah, like 10 years from now, if I'm interviewing someone, or like, where did you graduate from? And they mention one of these universities, I'll be like, no, fuck you, anti-Semite.
Well, you can't tarnish all of them with the same brush.
Of course not.
But you had when this started at Harvard and so on, you had big companies, presidents, vice presidents saying, "We saw you. We have your need. Don't ever come to us looking for a job." So
yeah,
individuals, not because of the university they attended.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that debate. Wow, I've been waiting the entire day. I don't know when it'll be uploaded today, but
do me a favor. When you find it, shoot me WhatsApp where it is. I don't know if I can sit through a full 2 hours of it, but I'd like to check out.
I hope it won't be more than like 45 minutes. It's too long.
Oh, I mean somebody edited all the
Usually they aren't edited, but the thing is, it's such a huge topic. Like so there's like the pro-Israeli side and the pro-Pali, and each side has like 5 members, and usually it's just like a 1-on-1 or like 2-and-2. So that's why I was just assuming it might be a little bit longer this time. On the basketball team. Yeah, I will send you the link whenever it gets published.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to.
No. You don't send me a link. Just send me where I can find it. Because opening link.
Please don't scroll. I'm just trying to become a big content creator one day, but I have no supporter.
Like you with your 90 days nonsense.
I never had one beer in my whole life. If I bought a 6-pack, I drank 6 beers. Yeah. If I bought a nickel bag of weed, I smoked a nickel bag of weed.
By the way, I'm not a Trump supporter in any way.
And Paul McCartney, if you all listen, Adrian from Brooklyn loves you with all her heart.
We lost all our listeners when we stopped.
My boss, Joey the Dubs Ayupa, is as feisty as they come. Ayupa, who frames a box professionally under the nom de guerre of Joey O'Brien, can still toss a wicked punch. In this case, he also tried to goad our cameraman into combat.
He's an Oriental Orthodox Christian. He believes in free everything.
Kept his cool. My boss, Joey the Yeah.
Hello, Nabil. Welcome on stage. I see one of your freedom fighting is for the Congo. What? Can you explain? I see the flag of Palestine. Can you explain what do you mean by free Palestine?
What do I mean by it? There is a entire war right now.
I'm not a car girl. Nope,
The government that wants to basically take out people and the terrorists that
What's freedom?
are not going to fight.
No, I was asking, I know what's happening, and I'm asking, what do you mean free Palestine? Free from who? Free in what way? What kind of freedom are you looking for?
For them to actually establish a government to be able to live in their land.
What's going on?
Like they're living hundreds of thousands of years, most of them.
Hundreds and thousands of years, but they have a government.
Yeah.
But they have a government.
Most of you do realize most of the Palestinians there are just as indigenous as most Mizrahi and Sephardic Jews. In fact, they
So
share
you're
about
saying-
the same
Wait, why don't you do point by point? I just want to get what you say.
Okay, it started with the freedom of government, and I wanted to understand also.
The government is Hamas. So they
Yeah,
have
there was
I said
They had
they
elections.
established a government in
Yeah, no, they established the government already. I don't know if you know, they had a democratic elections in 2005 or 6.
When Mexico's
And they
cartel.
have a president, and they have a government, they have ministries, they have like a seat in the UN. So what else are they missing for this government?
I don't know, get rid of Islam or something like that. Not exactly like to have much of a choice, more so to reform it.
It was a democratic elections. So you're saying free?
Crying out
You're
loud.
saying-
They barely let you do realize there are people in Gaza who have moved to the West Bank because of the issues they've had with Hamas in Gaza. Like there are people who have to leave there.
Yeah, I mean they're not satisfied with the elections, but they did have a free elections back then. They didn't have a free election since. So basically, you are calling for the people that are residing in Gaza and in Judea and Samaria to have a re-election for the government. This is what you mean by free Palestine, free like new election.
Not just that, I also have issues with how Israel has been dealing with the Palestinians as well. I mean, if Israel was only going after Hamas, there wouldn't be as much of an issue I'd have with them. But they also got civilians there as well.
What issue do you have? What do you mean going after civilians? What do you mean?
Civilians are usually targeted in this war. I mean, there are literally videos of IDF soldiers even going after children and women.
Can you show me one video? I'm very informed, and I see a lot of things coming in from both sides, mostly from Gaza. I have yet to see, even though I asked and you said that you saw, can you share with me one video
Sure,
where you see, 1 second, where you see an IDF soldier shooting a civilian? But I want to see it in my eyes. I don't want you to tell me what I'm seeing. I want to see.
I said they target civilians. I didn't say they shot
Target
them.
with what? With what? With pies?
Sometimes they beat them and like that.
I want to see. No, you say targeting meaning that they are the target, and I want to see.
Yeah.
And so, can you show me a video?
Churches that have been destroyed by Israel, churches that have stood
No.
there for a long time.
A church is not a person. You said civilians.
Yeah, well, there's
Churches.
innocent people in those churches. What would happen? What do you think would happen when you destroy a church? There's people inside of it. You would
Who
end up
said-
killing
hold on.
those people.
Hold on. You saw a video that you saw with your 2 eyes an IDF soldier.
Yeah, of a
Targeting
child
a civilian.
being beaten by a child being beaten by 2 IDF soldiers.
In Gaza
Yeah, this was about a year ago.
And what's the
a year
context?
ago. Show me. Can you show us?
Sure, I'll get the video for you.
And I just want to say that this is not really what people mean when they say target. We're talking about the war is against Hamas, and you said now here on stage that no, they're actually targeting. Targeting meaning when you use the word target, you mean that this is the aim, okay? Not that civilians are hurt on the way. When you
I see the little double face search contacts, invite friends. Send. What's your name on here?
This is comical.
Huey the goat.
Say it again, Huey.
Huey the goat. Just like how it is in my profile.
Yo, don't let him talk to you like that, Lion. Talk back with attitude.
What?
Nigga.
let's take away. I'm sorry, brother, your mic is hot. Let's take away single motherhood because it takes two people to make a child, right? And let's just look at it.
Right, with that. So you're saying that women and children aren't obviously innocent, like that are in a church?
First of all, I will answer. First of all, no, women and children are not obviously innocent, and I will also say that men are not obviously militants, okay? A woman can hold a gun, and a child, which is 17-year-old, can be a fighter. And also a man can also be innocent. So I think that your perception that all men are guilty and all women and children are innocent.
Say all men are guilty.
You said that obviously. No, you said obviously women and children are.
How do you not know this? What do you think? Time out. In a war, when somebody says that they attacked a place full of unarmed men, women, and children, does that mean that they're saying not a single man was armed or like that? For example, when people talk about the Seifel during World War I, when they say the Kurds attacked Assyrians when they were unarmed men, women, and children, does that mean that there were no children capable of fighting or women capable of fighting, or there was not a single person that had a weapon? No, it means the majority of people there are not able to fight, are people who are innocent. That's the point of it. And also, what church has weapons inside it?
Okay, I will answer. I will answer. First of all, you said obviously.
Wait, I have one question. Before you answer, I have one question. How many churches are in Gaza?
No, I don't want to get you the exact number. No.
I want to
yeah, but it goes somewhere else. I'm sorry. You said that obviously women. Yeah, but you said obviously women and children are innocent, and I just wanted to address that point. I'm thinking that no, the fact that someone is female or under the age of 18 doesn't mean they're innocent. Second of all, the fact that you say a church and you say that this is a house of prayer, you are correct. A church was built and meant to be a house of prayer and should be protected. Same goes for hospitals and schools. They should be a protected site. I 110% agree with you. But what happens when they are used for, as an example, okay, not talking about Gaza, let's talk about like what you call international law. If a hospital is used for military purposes, is it still considered a hospital or is it a legitimate target? According to international law, not according to this conflict.
In general. For a military purpose?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be considered a military site, so you have to target.
Okay, great. So when you say a church, how do you know that the people inside were innocent civilians that came to pray? By the way, there are like, I think 1,000 maybe Christians left in Gaza. What makes you be so sure that this church was A, used for prayer, B, was full when it was attacked?
For one, I believe one of the churches was used, people were using it as like to hide during the fighting and like that. It wasn't used for like to hold weapons, if I remember correctly.
It doesn't matter. If you are hiding there also and you're a militant and you are going from there to operations.
No, it was civilians who were hiding there.
I'm asking, great, perfect. I'm asking, how do you know, A, that there were civilians, B, that they were even inside when the church was targeted? Because the IDF announces every time they're gonna bomb someplace. So I'm asking, why do you say, or why are you so sure and confident that A, it was used for a church and there were like innocent civilians inside? Based on what?
And you're assuming that it was not just civilians in there. You're assuming
you are the one.
There were militants there.
You made the claim that Israel.
But you're making an assumption here as well. You're assuming that they were most likely hiding weapons and militants there.
I did not.
I to go and do that.
No, I did not say anything like this.
But does that justify, even if that's the case, does that justify like harming innocent people in there as well?
But I'm asking. But I'm asking the same question. How did you decide?
The issue.
But I'm asking the same question. How did you come up to the conclusion that there were innocent civilians inside this church when it was hit by the IDF? Why what are you basing your claim on?
What am I basing my claim on? The fact that they know who are most of the people that were dead, that were in the church when it happened. There are people who talk about their family members that were there, most of them who weren't fighters.
Wait, how many people died inside the church? What are you talking about?
How many people died? I can get you that.
Because
There
as far as I know,
was one girl who accidentally was shot by a sniper. That's it.
and which one? You talking about Hindri Judd?
We're talking about the same church, okay? But he's claiming
Okay.
there's a lot of dead people inside the church. That's not what's happening. So what happened was there was a bombing in what would we call that? We would call that adjacent building to the church. The church wasn't harmed at all, okay? It was sort of like a storage room, okay? No one died there. There was a sniper who accidentally shot a girl inside the church, mistaking the girl for what do I know, right? It's not intentionally targeting civilians, and you won't. That story, like, I don't know what that's from. That'd be like you entering a church and you see a lot of dead people in there. No, absolutely.
Are you talking about something from like December of last year?
I don't know when it was exactly. Like, there's only been one incident with a church in Gaza. And that's
No, but he's talking about something that I didn't hear about, bombing of a church while people are inside.
That's what they mean. Like when they say there was a bombing of a church, when they say there's a bombing of a church, it wasn't actually the bombing of a church. It was the bombing of the storage room of the church. It's like an adjacent building.
Yeah, so this is why I'm trying to stick to those points. But then he ran away when he understood that there was no bombing.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no bombing of no church, and and his entire I get it. Like those people, like his profile. He dedicated his profile for this. I don't know, war against free Palestine, whatever.
Paradox. He was saying free Iran, free Palestine, free Cyprus. I couldn't remember the other ones, but that doesn't make sense.
Why did he run away though?
I don't know. I want to ask him about Cyprus though.
That was a really good dialogue because he normally won't go off, but I feel like he was kind of taking it in and struggling with it, but I think that's good progress, honestly.
You know him?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on here for like a long time.
Yeah.
I've argued with him a lot about this, but I think this is better than any conversation I've had with him. So.
But how can he support a free Iran and support whatever he defines as like Palestine them being free? How does that make any sense?
He's a Christian from Syria, and so his thing is he cares about the native people and the Christians. That's literally his thing, and he always says, "Oh, I love Jews. I just think they're so whatever, tyrannical, whatever he is." But he believes some of the propaganda, which is like, I don't know why he does. I guess like he has family from that region, like Gaza. That's what he claims, but I don't know.
I want to buy him a ticket to Israel so you can see how much Israel protects the Christians and the churches in Israel, like any other country in the Middle East.
Forever.
I think you need like a legal professor, like a lawyer, to explain the basic concepts of law, because I get the feeling that a lot of people are just not educated at all on just the golden rule, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth kind of a thing, or even the law. Like it's just, I feel like that's the major problems. People do not remember the word law. They don't understand what the concept is, what the history of law is. I mean, that I think is the biggest educational problem with pro-Pally people. Sorry, Or, for interrupting.
I think that the problem is more that emotion trumped over logic. So if I feel something, then it's more valid than if it's actually true or not. And once you get people so enraged with something like the death of the children and women in Gaza, there was like those reports of the women and children, and everybody got enraged, and then the UN cut it by half. And I spoke to some people on Clubhouse here and I asked them, okay, how do you feel about this? Then their claim was like, it's enough even that one innocent child dies, which I get it. Once you're so enraged, and you need to kind of prove to yourself that you're not an idiot. So yes, you will change your perspective. And now even one single death is a war crime.
Yeah.
Okay, I just looked it up. So that incident with the sniper, okay, apparently 2 girls were killed, but there were more than 600 people inside the church.
And it was not bombed.
And it was
And
not
crushed. I know it's not bombed. This is why, like, they get outraged, and instead of like, oh my God, shit, I was misled, they run away, because it's like a defense mechanism, because you don't want to feel like an idiot. I mean, I get it. All those pro-pallies that have been like consumed with propaganda, it's in order to admit reality, they also need to admit that they have been fooled, and not only them, probably their friends and their families. It's I get why it's so hard to do this step, to believe, I don't know, facts, and like, no, so what do you think, the UN is lying, and UNRWA is lying, and the UN is lying, and ICC, yes. Like, just check for yourself.
I think, like, in this case, specific case, like, it didn't even apply logic. Like, why would 600 people take refuge in a church if they knew that they would get bombed? Like, you take refuge in a church usually when surrounding buildings get bombed, or like your home, or like, you know, that village, whatever. You go to the church, you're thinking, okay, it's a safe haven, it's a church, right? The church is unharmed. Look it up, the church is unharmed.
I think it follows those like conspiracy theories that Israel hates Christians. So it's like they find one little tiny thing that seems to follow that conspiracy or fit the conspiracy. So they'll take it and run with it. Like, see, here's proof that Israel is terrible to Christians.
There's one other philosophical flaw in pro-pallies, is that they'll go back to 1946. I mean, yesterday I was in a room and I was just going 1947, 1948, 1949, 1950. That's the problem with historical hypnosis is, and one of the reasons why they can't wrap their heads around the situation and why they are fooled, is because they're living off of memories as opposed to the present moment. And, you know, that is just, it's like, did you not hear about in philosophy, there's just this thing called the eternal now? And so what you're really doing is hypnosis propaganda using history, which essentially leaves out a million other variables. And so what you're really doing is dealing with, again, propagandists.
What I've done when there's other native people that are kind of like from the Middle East who have been Arabized and stuff like that, but somehow believe that propaganda, I'll usually ask them why they're supporting their own oppressors' propaganda. And sometimes it'll click, sometimes it won't, but it works. You can use that one. Feel free. It's like, hey, why are you like believing the same propaganda that was, you know, spewed by the people that took over your motherland? You know, to someone who's like a Syriac Christian, they're native to Syria. They're not Arab ethnically, they're Syriac people. But yeah, that one is hard too. They've definitely run away from it, some of them, but it'll work. I've seen some people become pro-Israel after that. So, yeah.
I'm certain he will become pro-Israel after a trip to Israel.
Okay. I think it's the best solution for many of those, that they would just like visit the apartheid, ethno-state, genocidal Israel and talk to people, also Arabs in Israel. And by the way, Samson, the sniper is an allegation. It's not.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah,
I'm aware, but I didn't want to have that discussion with him. I just, you know,
yeah, that's
it's
fine.
a sniper. Even if it's true, like it was a sniper, like it was an accident. Like you're not intentionally targeting civilians. You know?
No, I mean, even if it was a sniper, which we don't, I doubt if it was, because, you know, someone dies, you don't know who shot them, you just assume that it's a sniper. But it still doesn't mean that the church was bombed and with all the innocent civilians coming to pray. And the church was not.
He said they went. He said that they went there to pray. He didn't even say that they took refuge in a church.
Yeah, they took refuge. It's like I think the only Catholic church.
Well, that's the narrative,
Gaza.
right? Like, oh, they're all innocent. They're all praying, and Israel's such a big bully coming in.
Yeah,
just
the hijabi woman.
Praying people, you know.
The hijabi woman inside the church is praying. Yeah.
No, I mean there are Catholics. They're like I think like 1,000 that ran away there. But I think this is not just their fault. It's like the international media. I mean, when they report like a bombing in a school in the middle of the summer when there is no school, when they talk about the school as a building called school, then people imagine, and there's a IDF bombed the school, 20 died. So when what you understand from this is like 20 children in the middle of like math lesson were bombed. They don't say, okay, those 20 were actually men. They were like sleeping there. It wasn't acting as a school. And who are those men?
You let her be.
Pale.
You let her be too because you think she's attractive. You ain't lonely.
No, he did the same thing. So Samoa doesn't.
In fact, help me out here because I'll be checking out here soon because sometime in the next 48 hours, I think probably in the next 24, I'll be going in with a group of humans, currently known as humans, and
spiral map that's getting bigger. Yeah. So the idea is you take that metadata and you have people who own pieces of land on this like metaverse, right? This blockchain metaverse. And then you can overlay other games on top, like this Slither idea or like roguelikes or whatever. And what you can do is you can say, hey, wherever you die, if someone owns that piece of land where you die, they also get some residual income. Like they also get some of your sats. So that's another like idea where people might be incentivized to like grab land because there's other games that I built on top that also use the same baseline metadata. Anyways, that's like future looking.
So are they fungible? Like the people, or can some land be worth?
Hey, Rohan, what's the deal with kicking me from your room? He's such a salty little cock.
Well, that's not very nice.
I mean, I was in Amir's room and they were reading your arrest report and legal problems for having sexual relations with a woman. I don't know if any of that is true, but I just thought it was interesting that they were going into it explicitly in detail as if they're shopping it around. But anyways, yeah, I mean, you busted me in the other room. You kicked me. You're like, I know who it is. Joy. You knew right away, mate. You knew right away, mate. Little payback for you. Little payback. Get my leg back. Gotta get your leg back.
free energy. If humans had free energy, they would go up and grind up mountains to try to make giant gold necklaces and find diamonds and emeralds and shit like that. Humans have not been proven to be able to handle power. They just do dumbass things with it. I mean, I'm not saying the government's Jeez, don't give it to humans.
And that's the critique. And that's the critique of the positive implications of with AI, all the bad jobs will go away. The problem goes right back
to Karl Marx's assessment of the excess value of labor and how now we have the billionaires and their fascist partners are going to continue to soak all it up. So yes, there'd be plenty for the billionaires to be billionaires and for everyone else to live well, but they won't allow that. Because they're crazy and really just hungry ghosts, they will insist on extracting more and more and more from everyone and everything, and they just can't stop themselves.
100%. So the idea would be if we could cure the hungry ghost insatiable appetite for more, that maybe then we could handle the type of energy that would be needed to get off planet or to create immortality or things like that.
You know who wrote a great scenario for that in fiction is Starhawk. Have you read her book, The Fifth Sacred Thing?
Oh yeah, definitely. And
the way she has the people from Northern California deal with the.
They don't get mods. They don't get modded. Don't mod them up, right? I also think that we shouldn't have too many mods. It's almost like
no, that's what I'm saying, Mondo.
I'm not gonna kick out
love everyone. No, I love everyone.
You full of shit, Day. You just an N-word atheist, dog. You don't love nobody. Share the mod, dog. Share the mod.
If it wasn't for me or you, Mondo, I don't see this room ever being open.
So I've done a lot of research on this TV, and I'm thinking about.
Well, you are, and you just have to embrace the list.
I want to be at the top of the list.
I want to be at the top of the list, yeah.
Yeah, I want to be the first one on the list. Like, okay, we create the list. Okay, Daniel. Okay, obviously, who else? Like, I want to be like that.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel and the rest.
Stick most wanted Zionists.
You know, Cecil, there are like a few pro parties that once we joke that we have a list, and then since then they're like obsessed with this. Like, am I on the list? Did you put me on the list? Get me on the list.
And it all started, I don't know, I think it was one day when I took a screenshot of Diego or what Diego wrote in the chat, because he always tries to gaslight me or gaslight others, and I'm like, Diego, I got the screenshot of what you wrote in the chat to me. Like, this is what you said. And he's like, oh my God, you're keeping track. And I'm like, yeah, I keep track. And then he's like, I'm sure you have a list. And I said, yeah, I got a list. And that's where everything went wrong. Then you're talking about the list. And about, yes, because you put us on a list. And it's Randy saying that, and it's Nora saying about the list, and Diego about the list.
Yeah, I love it how we live rent free in their head that they think that they're on some kind of list, and even if they are, that this list means something. So
exactly. But I mean,
the Jewish conference thing is quite good as well. You know? Like, what's the next topic on our next meeting? You know,
the Zionist, the Elders of Zion. We have the Elders of Zion meeting.
Oh, we are. Well, by the way, I went into that room, Isa.
Uh-huh.
So Roger just said he's going to make a counter list.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying.
Oh, they're all wackos. A bunch of wackos. All of them.
Oh, no. Don't do that. That is too much.
Yes.
I'm going to change the name of the room to No Lists Allowed.
Can you?
Or maybe I will put, this is the real list, or we're making a list. List.
Like list conference or something that like
the list council
is in session.
No, right, like Zionist conference, like meeting number, I don't know, like right.
Oh no, just a list council.
613, you mean?
Yeah.
613.
Wait, the new council creating the list.
It needs to seem legit, you know, like UN organization, kind of like they always have like numbers and things.
What's legit about the UN organization?
No. You know, their resolutions, condemnations on numbers, you know.
Yeah, the list council, you know, that's the renewed council create.
Yeah, because
I'm not loving that. I'm not loving that.
Yeah, but a lot of people will understand because there was already an attempt of creating a council one time back, like a couple of years ago, and people were having a war between houses and between groups of people, and they tried to create a council and who should be mask blocked. And everybody thought that it was ridiculous.
Well, it is ridiculous. Green council green. Okay.
Oh, the council.
No, that's fine. So no. You could do what you like. It's fine. And they're all really heated, and then people are writing, so where is Jane now? She ran away.
Yeah, I love seeing people having meltdowns, to be honest. I think that's my guilty pleasure. I love it.
You don't sound like you feel guilty about it, though. You sound like proud of it.
Oh, yeah.
That is a guilty pleasure.
That's a guilty pleasure, yeah.
Fair enough.
Guilty pleasure part.
It's a pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't do guilt, so.
So you're not Jewish.
If you say so. Well, I didn't have a Brit Milah, if that's what you're implying.
That's right. Any ideas what I can buy on this fucking Black Friday? Because
Amazon?
Yes,
I'm like on Amazon and nothing kind of talks to me.
Well, I understand. Well, start with a list. Wait.
Go to Zalando.
No, there's an actual list. So a need or a want. So when you put things on that list, it'll help you narrow it down.
Nothing that Amazon sells.
Okie dokie. Right. So forget about it. So then hold on to your money. I went back to Amazon. I actually went back to Amazon today to check on that iPad I have my iPad.
Oh, iPad.
Yeah. Same price. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm just so upset that I only got the 64 gig. I can't believe I did that. Now I'm paying the price.
You got fooled by a Gentile in the what?
No. It was my own that I didn't read the spec or something. I don't know.
Does any of you have those cleaning robots that also wash?
You mean windows or floors? I have one. I have one for. There's one I have
for floors.
Yes, I do.
So, which one? Which company?
iRobot, I think. So
iRobot.
Here's my opinion. Listen. And you have to buy the special sponges for it and fill up the reservoir with water, this and that. They're not really good for cleaning the floor. After you clean the floor thoroughly, so then it's good to run that over it after you clean it like super thoroughly. But to clean it, you understand what I mean?
Yeah, but what's the point? If I clean it, why do I need to spend another $800?
Correct. I didn't spend $800, but correct. So this is my experience. I have it for like 4 years. So it's only worth something after you clean the floor thoroughly, which means the old-fashioned way.
You should just hire.
But the window one I have is amazing.
Yeah, I had the window one.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I figured out how to get into the corners and everything. It's actually amazing.
Wait, how does a robot go up?
It has like one suction cup, and then it kind of rotates like 20 degrees, and then...
No, mine has two.
Yeah, and then it catches the other one, and then releases one, and kind of basically has like two sucking things.
Yeah. No. Okay. No, I can't mushroom. No.
Why everything is pornographic in your head?
In my head. He knows. It's dumb. Okay. What it is okay. It comes with buffing. No.
Oh, now you're doing it.
It comes with. No, stop. Let me try to explain to him. It comes with.
Don't say buffing.
So, this device for Windows, Samson, it is kind of, it's like a robot. It comes with a remote control, so up, down, or you can set into a pattern. But it comes with, and then I bought extra ones, kind of these buffing sponges that you put on around each circle. It's hard to explain.
Treating epilepsy. And what happens is, because there's a slight difference
between both hemispheres, you do these tests where you look at a screen and what appears on the right which one's the so language is on the left.
He busted me. You got busted.
The physical world either. See, the physical world is wiggly. The clouds, mountains, trees, people are all wiggly. And only when human beings get working at things, they build buildings in straight lines and try and make out that the world isn't really wiggly. But here are we sitting in this room all built on straight lines, but each one of us is as wiggly as all get out. Now then, when you want to get control of something that wiggles, it's pretty difficult, isn't it? You try and pick up a fish in your hands, and the fish is wiggly and it slips out. What do you do to get hold of the fish? You use a net. And so the net is the basic thing we have for getting hold of the wiggly world. And so if you want to get hold of this wiggle, you've got to put a net over it. And I can number the holes in a net. So many holes up, so many holes across. And if I can number these holes, I can count exactly where each wiggle is in terms of a hole in that net. And that's the beginning of calculus, the art of measuring the world. But in order to do that, I've got to break up the wiggle into bits. And I've got to call this a specific bit, and this the next bit of the wiggle, and this the next bit, and this the next bit of the wiggle. And so these bits are things or events. Bits of wiggles, which I mark out in order to talk about the wiggle, in order to measure it, and therefore in order to control it. But in nature, in fact, in the physical world, the wiggle isn't bitted. Like you don't get a cut-up fryer out of an egg. But you have to cut the chicken up in order to eat it. You bite it. But it doesn't come bitten. So the world doesn't come thinged. It doesn't come evented. You and I are all as much continuous with the physical universe as a wave is continuous with the ocean. The ocean waves, and the universe peoples. And as the wave, I wave at you and say, you. The world is waving at me with you. And saying, hi, I'm here. But our consciousness, the way we feel and sense our existence, being based on a myth that we are made, that we are parts, that we are things, our consciousness has been influenced so that each one of us does not feel that. We feel we have been hypnotized, literally hypnotized, by social convention into feeling and sensing that we exist only inside our skins. That we are not the original bang, but just something out on the end of it. And therefore we are scared stiff. Because my wave is going to disappear.
Assume you will be too.
I'm going to die. And that would be awful. We've got a mythology going now, which as Father Maskell put it, we are nothing but something that happens between the maternity ward and the crematorium. And that's it. And therefore everybody feels unhappy and miserable.
3 times in the past 2 years.
No, this is what people really believe today. You may go to church, you may say you believe in this, that, and the other, but you don't. Even Jehovah's Witnesses, who are the most fundamentalists, they're polite when they come round and knock at the door. But if you really believed in Christianity, you'd be screaming in the streets. But nobody does. You'd be taking full-page ads in the paper every day. You'd have the most terrifying television programs. The churches would be going out of their minds if they really believe what they teach. But they don't. They think they ought to believe what they teach. They believe they should believe, but they don't believe it, because what we really believe is the fully automatic model. And that is our basic, plausible common sense. You are a fluke. You are a separate event. And you run from the maternity ward to the crematorium, and that's it, baby. That's it. Now, why does anybody think that way?
There's no reason to, because it isn't even scientific. It's just a myth. And it's invented by people who wanted to feel a certain way. They want to play a certain game. See, the game of God got embarrassing. The idea of God as the potter, the architect of the universe, is good. It makes you feel that life is, after all, important. There is someone who cares. It has meaning, it has sense, and you are valuable in the eyes of the Father. But after a while, it gets embarrassing. And you realize that everything you do is being watched by God. He knows your tiniest, inmost feelings and thoughts, and you say after a while, quit bugging me. I don't want you around. So you become an atheist, just to get rid of it. Then you feel terrible after that, because you got rid of God, but that means you got rid of yourself. You're just nothing but a machine. And your idea that you're a machine is just a machine too. So if you're a smart kid, you commit suicide. Camus said there is only really one serious philosophical question, which is whether or not to commit suicide. I think there are 4 or 5 serious philosophical questions. The first one is, who started it? The second is, are we going to make it? The third is, where are we going to put it? The fourth is, who's going to clean up? And the fifth, is it serious? But still, should you or not commit suicide? This is a good question. Why go on? And you only go on if the game is worth the candle. Now, the universe has been going on for an incredible long time. And so really, a satisfactory theory of the universe has to be one that's worth betting on. That's it seems to me, absolutely elementary common sense. If you make a theory of the universe which isn't worth betting on, why bother? Just commit suicide. But if you want to go on playing the game, you've got to have an optimal theory for playing the game. Otherwise, there's no point in it. But the people who coined the fully automatic theory of the universe were playing a very funny game. What they wanted to say was this: all you people who believe in religion are old ladies and wishful thinkers. You've got a big daddy out there and you want a comfort and thing, but life is rough. Life is tough. And success goes to the most hard-headed people. That was a very convenient theory when the European American world was colonizing the natives everywhere else. They said, we are the end product of evolution, and we're tough. See, I'm a big, strong guy because I face facts, and life is just a bunch of junk, and I'm going to impose my will on it and turn it into something else, you see. And I'm real hard. See, that's a way of flattering yourself. And so it has become academically plausible and fashionable that this is the way the world works. In academic circles, no other theory of the world than the fully automatic model is respectable. Because if you're an academic person, you've got to be an intellectually tough person. You've got to be prickly. See, there are basically 2 kinds of philosophy. One's called prickles, the other's called goo. And prickly people are precise, rigorous, logical. They like everything chopped up and clear. Goo people like it vague. For example, in physics, prickly people believe that the ultimate constituents of matter are particles. Goo people believe it's waves. And in philosophy, prickly people are logical positivists and goo people are idealists. And they're always arguing with each other. But what they don't realize is that neither one can take his position without the other person. Because you wouldn't know you advocated prickles unless there was somebody else advocating goo. You wouldn't know what a prickle was unless you knew what goo was. Because life is not either prickles or goo. It's gooey prickles and prickly goo. They go together like back and front, male and female. And that's the answer to philosophy. See, I'm a philosopher, and I'm not going to argue very much, because if you don't argue with me, I don't know what I think. So if we argue, I say thank you, because going to the courtesy of your taking a different point of view, I understand what I mean, so I can't get rid of you. But however, you see, this whole idea that the universe is just nothing at all but unintelligent force playing around and not even enjoying it is a put-down theory of the world. People who had an advantage to make, a game to play by putting it down and making out that because they put the world down, they were a superior kind of people. So that just won't do. We've had it. Because if you seriously go along with this idea of the world, you're what is technically called alienated. You feel hostile to the world. You feel that the world is a trap. It is a mechanism, it's electronic and neurological mechanisms into which you somehow got caught. And you, poor thing, have to put up with being in a body that's falling apart and that gets cancer, that gets the Great Siberian Itch, and it's just terrible. And these mechanics doctors are trying to help you out, but they really can't succeed in the end. And you're just going to fall apart, and it's a grim business, and it's too bad. So if you think that that's the way things are, you may as well commit suicide right now. Unless you say, well, I daren't, because there really, after all, there might be eternal damnation in the back of the thing if I did that. Or then I identify with my children or something, and I think of them going on and without me and nobody to support them. Because if I do go on in this frame of mind and continue to support them, I shall merely teach them to be like I am. And they'll go on dragging it out to support their children, and they won't enjoy it. And they'll be afraid to commit suicide, and so will their children. They all learn the same lesson. So you see, all I'm trying to say is that the basic common sense about the nature of the world that is influencing most people in the United States today, the fully automatic model, is simply a myth. If you want to say that the idea of God the Father with his white beard on the golden throne is a myth, in the bad sense of the word myth,
It's like the big pictures get all the love.
Hey, but hey, exclusive. Why is it that when motherfuckers wake the same shit up?
Dracula, who is that?
The country is the bliss I make wonder.
busy one who's rushing to get it all done, to the reliable one who has a list and
Feels like a dream, feels like magic. Now I believe I can have.
dum dum dum